I got started flying when I was a kid. I used to watch the airplanes go over all the time, and about the only thing I got out of it is get my roof of my mouth sunburned from looking up. Basically, I started out with the USAF when I was 17. I enlisted into the Air Force, and I really had the bug at that time. I've still got the same bug today.
This man is Fritz Meier, president of On Air Limited, which is an air charter service located at Thunder Bay Airport. As president of On Air, Fritz has a variety of duties to perform. He works approximately 60 hours, 7 days a week, relying on his many years of flying experience to meet the demands and challenges that his job requires. Fritz has been flying throughout northwestern Ontario since 1965 and has flown 12,000 hours, covering a distance over 1 million miles. In 1969, he bought out a portion of a company called Ontario Northern Airways and started On Air Limited. On Air was the first air charter company to have a twin-engine wheeled aircraft for charter in northwestern Ontario.
In 1969, the company consisted of one person on the payroll, which was myself. I was the pilot, the mechanic, baggage boy. My wife answered the phone and did the books. And our main problems in 1969 were to try to stay one step ahead of the creditors.
He'd take the charter flights, and I'd book the flights. So he'd be gone all day, and then he'd come back to new bookings at nights. It takes a while to get used to somebody being gone as much as, you know, but I think finally I've adjusted to it. But it took, you know, quite a number of years.
Stopped in one day by the name of Graham Ferguson and said that he was with Multi-Screen Corporation, and he had a film to do for Ontario Place in IMAX Productions. And he asked me basically how did I like low flying, and I said I enjoyed it. So he said that they would do the modifications to the airplane, and he wanted me to help him with this film. So they'd cut off the nose of the airplane and put in the plates and everything to protect the camera. And we proceeded to do a film now called North of Superior for Ontario Place. Overall, there's been about 8 IMAX movies made, which I've been associated with. The first, North of Superior. The next one was made for Paramount or Expo 74, which was filmed in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. There's another one that plays at Circus World in Florida. In the film Snow Job, they wanted to go through the Wilmette Canyon, which is just northeast of Thunder Bay by about 30 miles. And the producer of the film was also a pilot, or had been a pilot during the war. So we did a dry run sort of through the top of the canyon, and he thought that was super. We should really get back and turn the camera on. So I said, well, it doesn't cost any more to film it from the bottom than to film it from the top. Do you want me to get on the bottom, or you want me to stay at the top? So he said, oh, no, you do what you want to do. Go right down the bottom, that's fine. So I did. I went right down to the bottom. Came back to Thunder Bay, and we were getting out of the airplane. I noticed the front of his pants were all wet. And I said, what'd you do, spill some coffee? And he said, no. He said, when you got down to the bottom of the canyon, he said, I pissed my pants.
Since 1973, On Air has acquired additional aircraft to meet the growing transportation requirements for northwestern Ontario.
Okay, this is the first airplane that we had in the fleet, RXT. This is the airplane that I did the movie North of Superior with. Bought this airplane in 1969, and it was the very first airplane that we had. The next airplane that you see here is an ST-27, which we bought just this year. And this operates on the Dryden, Red Lake, Winnipeg service. And this would be the latest airplane in the fleet, a Cessna 421, which is a pressurized airplane, flies at approximately 25,000 feet, and carries a total of 8 passengers. This aircraft is equipped with autopilot, and you basically don't have to touch it from takeoff to touchdown. It'll do everything for you all by itself.
In 1976, On Air received over $800,000 in revenue by operating 8 planes valued at over $3.5 million. Because of the substantial increase in business over the last 3 years, the company has expanded from 4 to 29 employees. Each employee contributes their skills to the numerous jobs and duties that must be performed in an air charter operation. On Air provides daily business and commercial charters, ambulance air service, fire patrol, and a special banker's dispatch flight to Winnipeg 5 nights a week. The amount of flying done in northwestern Ontario is tremendous in comparison to other areas in Canada. On Air is providing an essential link that is required for the air transportation requirements of northwestern Ontario.
This is one of the de Havilland Twin Otters, which is owned by the Ontario Northland Transportation Commission. This is what is operated on the Nor-Ontario schedule. On Air Limited has the contract to operate 2 of these throughout northwestern Ontario.
Nor-Ontario serves 16 communities throughout northern Ontario. Its complete route system is maintained by 4 different air charter companies who service and fly a total of 6 Twin Otters. Last year, Nor-Ontario carried 75,000 people and 36,000 pounds of light freight, such as small parcels and envelopes. On Air provides 13 Nor-Ontario flights a day, serving 5 communities west of Thunder Bay. In 1976, it carried approximately 18,000 passengers. In 1969, Fritz Meier realized that as northwestern Ontario becomes more populated and industry grows, air transportation is required to link community airports on a regular scheduled basis. Between its 2 flight services, On Air provides 22 scheduled flights a day to 9 communities and carries approximately 3,000 passengers a month. Through his efforts, Fritz Meier has created a company that is contributing to the development of northwestern Ontario through his love of flying.